All right, what's up, guys? Jake here. I got a little art tip for you. And it's on perspective. And if you don't know perspective or are good at perspective, then you're probably not good at drawing. So it's important and imperative that you learn perspective. And some people take perspective too serious, I feel like. If you've seen my art, I like having kind of a loose drawing style, and concept wise, I like pushing the boundaries of perspective because I find like it's very interesting. So we're going to start off with, let's say it's a scene like you're in a room, okay? Now, I guess what you would normally do, pick a point on the horizon, rulers, straight lines, and you end up with something like this, okay? So, let's say there's windows in here. Okay, so you have a room here, and it's kind of boring. So if you're drawing a scene or something, I would feel like this is a bad spot to really be. It's not horrible because you are at like a certain angle here. Let's say your character is right here, or something you're focusing on is here. It's not on center, so that's a plus, because you don't really want to ever make everything centered because it ends up looking very plain, boring, fake, stuff like that. So I guess I naturally kind of did that, but by accident. But yeah, the positioning of like the camera or your eyes, a viewer's eyes, is kind of a boring spot within the room. Yeah. So what I usually do, because I like cartoons and stuff, but even if you were kind of drawing or painting in a more realistic way, you could still use this technique, but it's like try to orient the room in a way where, now some of these lines, they're not going to really make sense, especially because I'm going like really loose here. Maybe there's a window here. Maybe there's a window there. And a door here. So now, this is what I would kind of come up with. Just trying to be kind of creative and different here. It's a lot of my cartoons that I draw, I do weird funky angles like this, and after looking back at some of the cartoons that I watched during my childhood, I think it's just like brushed off on me because I used to love Rugrats, and I never even really noticed until I just rewatched it with my kids. And dude, this perspective and artwork in that show are so good. It like really pushes the boundaries where it's like so crazy, and curved lines where they're like literally just walls, so they should be straight, but you have like wild and wonky shapes, and oh man, that just comes out like so cool, and like the floor will be almost like it's almost looking through like a fisheye lens, okay? And it really, when you're doing at least cartoons, it's oh man, I just love that. It just brings so much character to not just like your cartoons, but like the entire scene, you know, feels more alive. I guess I could say. Don't be so hard on trying to make everything perfect perspective, especially if you're doing cartoons, because I feel like this definitely a cool way in getting an interesting scene compared to a flat, you know, perfect, physically perfect perspective, with no soul. This technique I just feel like is cool. So try it and see how it goes. What's cool about it is you get used to doing like crazy stuff. So once you get used to this like ability to use perspective and kind of abuse it, really, because I mean this is a horrible perspective drawing. But I mean, you as a viewer can understand what I'm trying to portray here. So once you get this level of perspective, your drawing has really opened up, because you can make fake looking scenarios and still get that point across to people. So many people can't they can't even draw like a window here, you know, because they don't know perspective. And here, watch, I'll get some perspective right, but I mean, I'll even draw this like a funhouse style window. And it's still going to kind of make sense, because I do have some perspectives going on within the drawing, even though the overall shape does not make sense. Like, if it was to make sense, the top of the window should be up here, you know. But you could draw things however you want once you understand how perspective works and how to portray something to a viewer of your art. You know, so bending straight lines into curves, you know, as long as this curve matches this curve, all of a sudden you understand that I'm trying to portray this as a wall, you know. So even if this perspective is crazy, you know, once I start putting windows on it and stuff and hanging pictures or something, you kind of understand what I'm getting at on this, you know. You could even put like a radiator here or something. But yeah, it's a And then if you were to put like a baseboard, you would follow that. You would follow this. So you've kind of set the parameters of what your perspective is within just this wall. So you're kind of matching that parallel lines, you know. So there's the baseboard, and like let me know what you guys think. Um, I just think this style comes through in my art a lot, and people just love my art, and they tell me that they like how much depth I could put into some of these pictures. So yeah, I hope you guys get something out of this, and yeah, like, follow, and subscribe for some more art tips. All right, thanks guys.